serious?
You know, it's getting extremely hard for me to get on here and to try to be the guy, to be positive, try to be, you know, a little bit of a quote-unquote pacifist in a way, right? It's a little hard for me to do so. It really is. The reason why I say I'm trying to be a pacifist is because, well, there's just nothing that can be done at this point. Nothing, right? Trying to mend the situation, trying to help at least bring it down a bit, right? Just, you know, so we can get back to gaming talk. But as I do that, it just seems like I'm pouring more gasoline than what more people are doing already in this console war on the flames. You know? It really is. I look at this situation, right? I look at this news that we got from Microsoft, and I just can't help but feel disappointed. I feel embarrassed. And for the most part, I just feel insulted. You know, I really do feel insulted by this news. I do. What was one of the main things I have been banking for? What was one of the main things that I've been asking for from Microsoft this generation? A lot of people, the fanboys, want to sit there and say I'm sprouting propaganda or I'm just quote-unquote peas in the PlayStation side, yet these same morons, right, are the ones who claim that people who put up titles like Megaton and they talk about box art is real Xbox news, right? Right? Sure thing. I look at this situation as this, man. Okay? I have been saying this since 2013. Microsoft needs games. Microsoft needs studios. Microsoft needs the proper push in the right direction in terms of game creation, game development, and overall just sense of gaming, period. That's what they need. And you have the grown men who don't want to acknowledge that. They want to sit there in denial. They want to say that, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, right? Microsoft doesn't need X amount of things. Microsoft is better than X amount of things. Microsoft has features. They have third-party support. And now, of course, the almighty crossplay Microsoft has. Without realizing the gravity of what they're saying. When you say a company like Microsoft, a Sony, or Nintendo does not need first-party games, you're telling them that they really have no reason to exist aside from just making a few bucks off of hardware. That's it. That's it. That's what you're saying. Every single company before the PlayStation even came out, but every single platform that came out before, and then until we got to the PlayStation until now, right? Every platform has been known for their games. Every single platform has been known for those exclusives. They've always been. PlayStation 2 dominated, you know what I'm saying, its generation. And let's be real here, all their games were basically exclusive. Minus a few, but still, they dominated the most part of that gen. They dominated. And Microsoft, with the Xbox original, came out and they shined with Halo, which was exclusive. But you know, you guys don't say exclusives don't matter, right? You want to say exclusives don't entice people to invest in the game. You want to tell people that exclusives don't entice people to spend $500, right? And I didn't want to talk about this because I did hear about this, but I wanted to save this for a live reaction because I haven't seen the video yet. But a lot of you tweeted me, so I might as well show it. But you know, this plays into this argument as well. You say exclusives don't matter, right? Yet Sony and Marvel pretty much announced that they have a custom PlayStation 4 Pro Spider-Man edition for Spider-Man. That's coming out in September. It's a red console with the white logo on the system, and it's got the same effect with the controller, and it looks dope. But exclusives don't do anything, right? Exclusives don't do anything? Sure thing. It's ridiculous that this particular argument, this same statement that I've been saying numerous times, has to keep being said. It's ridiculous that majority of the people who are speaking against this or denying this or being retarded towards this are older than me. They're older than me. I have grown-ass men Some got families, kids, wives. Yeah. They're sitting there in denial saying that Microsoft doesn't need X amount of things. All they needed was third party. Third party games? Third party? In 2018? Third party. That's what you're banking on? That's your argument? All they need is third party content in 2018 going into 2019? Do you even know what comes out for PlayStation? And then they'll go, well, I mean, I own a PlayStation. I mean, I'll play those. I didn't ask if you own a PlayStation. Do you know what's coming out for PlayStation? That's has people talking about PlayStation, has them continually like getting PlayStations sold. Do you know what's coming out for PlayStation? Spider-Man comes out in September. Days Gone, another must-have, is coming out in February. What's coming out for Xbox? Oh, wait, were you about to say Crackdown? Because last time I checked, I don't think they even guaranteed that Crackdown was coming out in February. That was a placeholder date. No guarantees. No guarantees. And it's on this last delay. And that game's about to get canceled at this rate. The original developer behind that game has left. He's abandoned ship. He's with another developer. So you tell me what's the state of Crackdown 3. You tell me what's the state of that. And I already know, since you guys got no argument, oh, he's a hater. He's doing this for X amount of things, right? He wants to appease the Sony ponies, right? Yeah, because people still use that term, Sony pony, in 2018. But Sony ponies, blah, 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 right? Let me tell you one thing I know about these quote-unquote Sony ponies. These Sony ponies are playing games. They're buying games. They're supporting games. They're actually playing them. They're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk. The same thing can be said about Nintendo dudes this gen as well. They're buying these games. They're playing them. I can't say that about Xbox dudes, now can I? Can I? Of course not. Microsoft doesn't want to make Quantum Break or Alan Wake sequels. They don't want to make them. But you dudes, you same dudes, you grown-ass men, right, who want to damage control this, are the same dudes saying that Sony is anti-consumer because they say no to something as simple, something that's so pathetic and pointless as crossplay. Yet this company, this gaming company, is saying no to you when it comes to making games for you that can benefit you in the process. And you want to tell me that Sony is the one being anti-consumer, right? Right? Sony's the anti-consumer one? Okay. I don't know how I react to this. I don't know how to react to this. I really don't. I've been so disappointed in Microsoft this generation that it's just it gnaws at the soul. It really does. It gnaws at the soul. When I look at Quantum Break, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a game from PlayStation that started on the PS3, right? The first one was okay to a lot of people. Some people liked it, some people loved it, but for the majority it was like, nah, wasn't that great at first. You know what game that was? That was Uncharted 1, Drake's Fortune. Remember that? Uncharted Drake's Fortune started off as a meh game to a lot of people. What did they do when that game came out? After that game was released, what did they do? They took the notes. They learned from their mistakes, and what did we get? We got a gem, basically, which is Uncharted 2, which many people still to this day would say is the best one in the series, if not is the all-time great in the series. Uncharted 4 is a great send-off, but a lot of people will argue that Uncharted 4 is not the best Uncharted game. It's just a nice send-off. It's a nice epic end to a great character, right? But we got that. What do you think they could have done with Quantum Break? They could have done the same thing with Quantum Break. Some people didn't like the TV show. Some people liked the TV show. They could have experimented. They could have brought it back, but also gave you less of that in actual real game, cutscenes. They could have given you less of that and really focus on the game. Fixing the core mechanics. Fixing the hit detection. Fixing all this junk. Whatever needed to be fixed. Especially the powers and the misuse of them, like rewinding time to open doors. That game could have been better with part 2. And of course, you already know the game that I'm really upset about, because this is the game that I was waiting for the Xbox One. I love this game on the Xbox 360, and the fact that it's not coming out for the Xbox One, and that I possibly gotta wait for a new Xbox just to play this game is even more insulting. But Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2. There is no excuse for Alan Wake 2 to not have a sequel. There is no excuse for Quantum Break to not have a sequel. Especially, like, with the way things are going. Every game that has come out as of late for the Xbox One, especially since they have dropped this next-gen beast that they quote-unquote call it, right? The beast is coming. X gonna give it to you, right? Since they launched this console, there hasn't been now one must-have game that fully showcases the power of that console. There has not been now one single game that fully blows you away with that console. And before somebody goes like to ridiculous standards, right, and then tries to reach and go, well, what about Tomb Raider? What about Tomb Raider? What about it? An old game that nobody cared about? What's that supposed to do? That's not Microsoft first party. That's a third party. That was you were banking on? You were banking on all third party devs to go back and tweak all their old games? That's what you're expecting? There's not even no talks of a Sunset Overdrive 2. Sunset Overdrive 2 devs, aka, what was the name? Insomniac, said that they wanted to make a Sunset Overdrive 2, but guess what? They need a publisher. Microsoft didn't even jump on board to publish it. But you want to tell me Microsoft is pro-consumer in 2018? They're pro-consumer? There's nothing pro-consumer about Microsoft in 2018. Nothing. Nothing pro-consumer about them. Nothing. And sitting here lying, crying, and making it seem like people need to talk about X amount of things is not going to help the cause. It's not. Microsoft has dropped so far. It's ridiculous how far they have dropped. Microsoft has fallen from such ridiculous heights that there is no recovering from. There's none. There's none, people. And it hurts for me to say it, but it's the God honest truth. Microsoft is one of those companies that you really just do not care about half the time anymore. Microsoft has officially become Nintendo. Nintendo was known as what last generation, people? The side bitch of gaming, right? What is the Xbox One X? It definitely ain't a main bitch to go to, is it? No, it's not. It's a side bitch. And she's basic. She's basic. Ain't nothing going for this console. There's nothing. Nothing going for this console. And then, of course, again, the grown-ass men. But what are you talking about? I have the best, superior multiplats on the console standpoint. You notice I had to do quotations, right? I had to use filters for that little argument. I had to say the best console multiplat, as if that gives two, people give two shit about that. Or the fact that people would even use some stupid shit like that. The best console multiplats? Console? No. PCs are the best multiplats. The visual category will always go to PC. Okay? There's no denying it, there's no fighting it. Which is why a lot of sane gamers like myself would rather these consoles focus on performance than visual fidelity. Sure, they can show a nice, improvement in graphics. Sure, I'm not saying they shouldn't, but they really should be focused on performance. Because there's no way a PS5 is touching 8K. But PC is already touching 8K. Even with the whole 4K initiative that they're doing now, obviously they're going to master 4K with the PS5 and the new Xbox, sure. But they're not going past 8K. They're not even going to 6K. So I suggest people just chill and relax and just enjoy these consoles for what they truly are. And before I go, here's another situation here. You know what's a crime? People said that Sony was anti-consumer for the whole Spider-Man deal, yet Microsoft had a golden opportunity of their own to do something better, or to counter. Notice how when the Blu-ray for Black Panther was quote-unquote exclusive to Microsoft or whatever, right? That whole argument was going on to the point where they came out with a limited edition Black Panther Xbox. You notice that Microsoft could have came out with their own version of Black Panther, the game. Especially with numerous, people from Marvel asking for a developer to create a game for Black Panther. Black Panther could have got a game from Microsoft. Now, could you imagine that? Black Panther with an Arkham City type of vibe to it? That right there would have been something to invest into. But unfortunately, that's not what we're getting. We're getting the same old excuses. And again, some people might go, well, I'm fine with that. It's Microsoft. Hey, be fine with that. But me? I ain't down with that. And I'm gonna leave it like that, man. I'm gonna leave it like that. Ryan Professional, I'm out. You enjoyed the video, you know what to do. I'll let you guys on my next one, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the RHD podcast. Yes, we're back on track. So you guys be good. Deuces.